Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, October the 23rd, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell market summary video brought to you by wallstreettrading.com. If you have not been to the website yet, go check it out. There's a lot of free information on the site. At the same time, if you're interested in joining our prop firm or taking our education courses, you can contact me at ccooper at wallstreettrading.com, or you could fill out the form on the contact us button on the upper right hand side of the home page. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the market here. The Dow Jones was down 54 points, the Nasdaq was down 22.5 points, the S&P 500 was down close to half. I'm sorry, not half. It was down 0.5% just about, but it was down 8.25 or so. If we take a look at the breadth on the markets, we had 3,950 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,372 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. Therefore, you can see that breadth was in favor of the bears today. But looking at the general market action today on the on the S&P 500, we pretty much had a sideways range. I mean, we traded in a range between say 1737 and 1742. So pretty much a pause day. And if I just zoom in right here and show you guys, you can see here, not much action today, right? Inside, the body was inside of the previous day, and there wasn't really much going on a market basis. But if you take a look at different sectors, there was definitely some action in different sectors across the board. We saw some weakness in the financials today, with Bank of America being down over 2%, JP Morgan down over 1.5%, Goldman Sachs and Citigroup down about 1% there. If we take a look at the tech sector, Microsoft was down over 2.25%. Saw some more weakness in Cisco. All right, we saw some weakness in the semiconductor sector, and we saw a pocket of strength in what we saw. There was one stock that was actually showing some decent strength today in the tech sector, and of course that was Google. We're going to take a look at all those charts here shortly, and we saw some weakness in the basic material sector, especially in the energy stocks, the independent oil and gas companies, as we had crude oil continue its selling pressure today. And we're going to look at that chart again today, as that's coming into some interesting levels that may be giving us some buying opportunities. So let's go ahead and get the party started. Hope you guys had a great day today. Let's see what this market has in store for us, possibly for tomorrow. Taking a look at the SPY, the daily chart here, we closed at 174.57. It was down 84 cents, down just about 0.5% there, 0.48%. And according to the video that I gave you guys yesterday, I stated that we could see some weakness just for the fact we had this little minor topping tail right there, and the body closed right at our key trend line that we got from connecting this price action over here to this little pivot high right there, to this pivot high right here. And you can see yesterday we came into that pivot high. Let me zoom in, sorry about that. Yesterday we closed right at that trend line from these pivot highs that we connected. And we had a gap down this morning, a little bit of selling pressure that was bought right against that rising 5 EMA, sorry, the fast trend line that I'm using right here is the rising 5 EMA. So bounced throughout the rising 5 EMA SMA around the 174 hold number, and we bounced and closed at 174.57. Again, it was just a sideways day. If I bring up a 15-minute chart of the S&P 500 right here, you can see SPY traded in a range between 174.25 and say 174.50. Not much opportunity if you're trading the actual index, but again, there was decent opportunities in different individual equity names across the board. So what can we expect to happen tomorrow? Well, you definitely want to watch the 174 level, because it lines up with today's lows, also lines up with Monday's lows. So therefore, if we were to break below that level, we could see some nice selling pressure, as we do still have some gap fill action from last week, from the gap up we had on Friday, okay, from Thursday's strong close. All right, if we take out this 175 level, or better yet, if we take out today's highs and then 175, we could look for a move back up towards, say, the 175.50 level if buyers come back tomorrow. If we trade and break above the range that I just showed you guys, then you want to be leaning to the bull side. If we break and hold below the bottom end of the range that I showed you guys, then you want to be looking for most likely short opportunities in different equity names that are looking weak. All right, so SPY looks interesting. The trend is obviously still intact, but let's not forget that we are in this little channel right here. And as you guys know, All right. When people get near the top of the channel, they start selling, of course. When they get near the bottom of the channel, they start buying. Top of the channel, they start looking to collect some profits. So we want to make sure that this is not an area where they're going to be looking to collect profits. And if they are, well, then you want to make sure you're looking at the right stocks to participate on the short side. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling about the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100 here via the triple Qs. ETF closed down 50 cents, 0.61%. Same thing here, bounced right off of the 5-day simple and exponential moving average, flashed it below it and closed right above it here. The key level to watch on the triple Qs is right here around 81.50. If we break below 81.50, we have this gap fill right underneath 81. If we take out today's highs, we could go back up towards yesterday's closing price to fill that gap up around 82.45 or so. But everything, of course, is still intact here. The breakout happened around 79.75 last week. So if we were to get some selling pressure all the way back down, you want to watch that 79.75 level, folks. Okay. Taking a look at the IWM, the Russell 2000, in this nice little clean upward price channel. Let me take off the studies so you guys can see exactly what channel I'm looking at and how clean the channel is. And looks pretty nice. However, we were not able to get to the top of the channel. We had some sellers come in and sell yesterday when there was a nice green full candle near the top of that channel, and then of course they sold it back down towards the middle of the range. Today we gapped down, and just like everything else, this market had a small range candle as well. All right. The level you want to be watching on the IWM is today's lows, which happens to be 109.77. Then we have a gap fill that could take us down all the way to 109.46. We break below 109.46. Then we have to go into our 60-minute chart and look for some levels in this little area between 108.60 and 109.46. So keep that in mind. But everything looks intact still here. All we did today was just gap down, and we actually had some support in the market because we gapped down and nobody was really looking to sell, right? We gapped down and the market just traded sideways to higher and then back to sideways. Let's go ahead and take a look at the volatility index to see what this thing did today here. The VIX was up 9 cents. You can see it spiked up a little bit here. Had a opened up at, let's see, 1371, hit a high of 1421, and then closed on its low. So volatility did come out the market as the day progressed, and we closed right on the dead lows here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that US dollar chart. As the US dollar had a little pause day today after having a heavy sell day yesterday. Again, we continue to look for that weakness in the dollar as we're expecting our target of the bottom of this megaphone pattern to get hit. And the longer this thing drags out, all right, the lower that target becomes from that trend line. All right. So we trade sideways here and we keep on going down within 78.50 is a target instead of say 78.75. You guys can see what I'm trying to explain here. And we just have to watch it because the dollar is getting weak, the euro is getting strong, and some of these commodity stocks, at least in the precious metal sector, starting to catch a bit. I mean, just take a look at this big move in the euro, right in our proprietary channel analysis that I do over here. Nice little up move, right? Nice channel, up move, channel again, and then break. And now we're going to be watching to see what it wants to do. But the trend is up in this currency. If anything, I would be looking to buy dips and not trying to short it like a lot of people I see online trying to short the euro because they're expecting the Fed to taper, and that's not what it's telling us right now. So you want to stick with the trend. Let's go and take a look at gold futures. Um, Gold futures, little pause day today. Nothing too crazy. I do want to see the gold futures get back inside this little yellow shaded area right here, as that was from an old channel. So if we get back inside the old channel, that would be very bullish. But right now, we have some short-term resistance around this 1340 level. Until we break and hold above 1340, I think gold may try to chop around in this area as they kind of decide which way they want to take it going forward. So keep an eye on the gold futures, 1345 area, 1350 or so. Then keep an eye on this lower pivot, this higher pivot low that we made right here around 1310 from yesterday's buy candle that we had, that bullish action we had yesterday. Let's see, GDX gold miners. All right, this sector did not follow through today as it gap down and closed on its lows. And one thing that it did that was pretty good, at least it filled the gap. But we at least want to see this index, or this ETF, I should say, hold above 25. If not, it's going to come right back down. And we want to make sure this is not a trap, because the sector is weak. Did get a nice little short-term bounce. So I'm pretty sure since the sector is weak and it had a nice little short-term bounce, people are taking profits. They got long down here. But now we want to watch it to see if it's going to at least stabilize in this area and give us a nice little higher pivot low or something to work off of. All right. Crude oil. Right, crude oil broke below the key level that we were watching, 98. Why was it a key level? As you can see, it was acting as resistance before. Okay, and if you know standard technical analysis, you know prior resistance becomes support, prior support becomes resistance. In this case, prior resistance did not hold as support, therefore it's coming down, and it should come right back down towards the bottom of this demand zone, back down towards 94, I would say. If we go to 94, if we sell off to 94, I believe that would be a good area to buy. As you can see, that was the last little pivot low area we had before we rallied up, and that was also the kind of the bottom of the little demand zone. If we get back above 98 on a nice little bullish candle, we can also look for some longs in this area. However, I want to see some more bottoming action down here. That gives me more conviction that we're going to get a nice little pop back up. Right now, there is a momentum to the sell side in crude oil, but we have some decent levels to watch. So when we get to some key levels and we see that price action that we're looking for, we'll definitely alert you guys and let you guys know that crude oil is at a high probability or a good buy area to start nibbling at some longs or something. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Right now, I'm not doing nothing with crude oil myself, or not trading any energy stocks right now. Just pretty much watching the action in that sector. What else did I want to bring to the table here? So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple stocks, starting off with Google. Can't leave the office here without talking about Google, which is on a nice little tear, had good earnings, and it's continuing that momentum. It was up 2.5% today, just about, and it was up over 24 bucks today, and this thing should be on its way higher. Wouldn't be surprised if it closed the week out at 1050 plus. So Google's pretty strong. Netflix, after giving back all of the action and more yesterday, had a nice little bounce today. Not a surprise. Remember, I told you guys that you do not want to get short Netflix down here after having a big down day. I stated that in yesterday's After the Bell market summary video. Same thing now. You want to let this stock show you at least some levels to work off of, build some type of base or some type of form of resistance showing that it wants to go lower, or build some type of base showing that it wants to go higher. Again, right now this thing's probably going to chop around in the lower 38.2% of this sell candle, I would assume. So we'll see. Apple flat day today, was pretty strong yesterday. Sorry, well, it recovered pretty nice yesterday. It was strong on Monday. Sorry, it was strong on Monday. Sold off yesterday, but recovered off the lows. And then today, it gapped down slightly and had some buying pressure come in. They have earnings coming out next week, Monday. It's a stock that you definitely don't want to be swing trading into earnings. If anything, you want to be day trading the name. And as long as it can hold above, say 510, it's still looking pretty good. Prior resistance right here. All right, we broke above that level, and now we're holding above it so far. What else here? Bank of America down 2%. BAC, notice how we have a high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower pivot high. Got to watch Bank of America because it could come all the way back down to say 1360 if this is in fact a lower high, and these sellers are going to start knocking these financials back down as they have been experiencing some weakness. We are seeing some strength in the financial sector, but in the home builder names like Toll Brothers, which I believe we mentioned this the other day. Toll Brothers, take a look at this one. We mentioned this yesterday. Toll Brothers, nice move today, right, guys? Even though it closed off of its high, still had a nice move and gave you an opportunity for a nice intraday trade. KBH, all right, this one at the same time gave you a nice trade as well. Once it broke over 1740, we talked about that yesterday. And then you have Lennar. I believe this one wasn't looking that great compared to the other ones. Yeah, this one was looking good too. All of them had a little kind of same setup where they rallied up last week. They pulled back earlier in the week here, and then they had some nice little moves higher. And we're going to be looking for this to continue to move up towards on Lennar. We're going to be looking for this to try to get a break over 38, and we'll see what happens from there. Main thing to take from this is that the home builders are trading strong. Okay, so they showed some relative weakness today because while the market traded sideways, they traded higher. That's a form example of relative strength, folks. So just take that and write that in your notes. What else here? Morgan Stanley. All right, this bank's been trading pretty well. You can see for the past couple of days it's been having some trouble catching a bid. Right now it's sitting right on top of the eight the 8 EMA SMA. If it could hold today's lows, may give a nice little buying opportunity tomorrow, as this could be a move up, a little pullback right here, and then look for a move up. We'll see. Definitely going to be watching Morgan Stanley tomorrow. Back to the momentum names. Tesla. All right, this thing is not gaining any momentum. Actually looks like you could have a little head and shoulders pattern here. All right, let me zoom in a bit more here. This kind of being your left shoulder, this kind of being your head, this kind of being your right shoulder right here. Your neckline looking something like this. Got to keep an eye on this Tesla, guys, because it's starting to close today below the 100-day moving average. Or is that the 50? Sorry, that's the 50. It closed below the 50-day exponential and simple moving average. The next moving average target will be down here around 145.53. The next support target, which you hit today and bounced off of, is this 160 level right here. Okay, so Tesla, not as strong. It's a strong stock, but it hasn't been trading strong since since I would say last week, ever since it started trading sideways here. All right, and I know I'm moving kind of fast because I'm still at the office. I'm trying to get this video out for you guys in a timely manner so I could start working on some other things. Again, we saw some weakness in the energy sector. OXY, big sell bar there. APC, EOG, and NBL. All right, all of these names had some selling pressure today. Obviously, some of them have stronger uptrends than the other ones. Therefore, the ones that in strong uptrends, they will be setting up some buying opportunities at lower support levels. For example, this NBL, if it was to get smacked down all the way to 68, that would actually be a good area to try to pick it up for a higher pivot low that you're looking to move up. Just an example of a stock that had a nice run and how to identify areas to try to get involved in it once it pulls back a little bit and gives you another buying opportunity, as it is in an uptrend, as you can see here. All right, folks. Let's see, BA, strong stock today. And this one, came out with some good earnings here. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh, the numbers aren't here. All right, the numbers aren't there, but they came out with some good numbers. That's why the stock traded higher, and definitely a stock you want to keep on your radar for tomorrow. All right, we traded some CRE today in the chat room. This stock got clobbered today. Nice recovery off the lows, but this stock gave you a nice little quick short sell opportunity on the open. Take a look at the 1-minute chart. All right, once this thing, we actually call this out in the mywallstreettv.com trading room, which is a live intraday trading room for active and professional traders. If you want to get access to that chat room, you could email me at ccooper.com. Sorry, you can email me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com for details, or you can fill out the form on the right-hand side of the home page. But take a look at CRE gap down, and the way it was trading pre-market just showed you that there was not much strength in it. Let me put on the pre-market information here so I can show you guys something. Please, 1 second. All right, so taking a look at the action pre-market, you can see it sold off. This is your move down. This is kind of like a little bear flag channel right there, and then boom, gave you some selling pressure. So we caught this nice leg down right here. Didn't catch this next leg down, but a lot of traders in the room did pretty well on this name. So make sure you take a look at CRE tomorrow, because it covered well off the lows and formed a nice little bottoming tail here. Could give you a nice opportunity to the long side if it breaks over today's highs. Names like that stocks that come out with earnings and sell off and recover pretty well off the lows. That means that they consider this like a little discount buy down here. You got to watch these names for follow through the following day to see if they get some action. And that's about it, folks. I could go on and on over some stocks, but we're going to have some fresh news stocks and play and ideas for you guys tomorrow. Make sure you come check out our chat room. mywallstreettv.com. Have a great night, folks. I know I've rushed this video. Sorry about that. And I have a better one for you guys tomorrow. Take care.